Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our panel and to all the audience up there. My name is Muhammad AZIMAN bin MOHAMAD and I'm gonna be your moderator for today. For today's session titled as Does I-Sinar and Lestari early withdrawal give an impact to our financial situations? Before we start, I would like to introduce our guest for today. The first panel is Muhammad IMRAN as a financial advisor from your Essential Solution Financing Company. And second panel is Adam Zaqwan as an executive officer from the office KDBSP. And lastly, we have AMIRUL as our public guest working at private sector. In the last 2 years, the world has been shaken by the influence of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has caused the national economy and households to be severely affected. Despite the difficult economic conditions, global pension funds have provided strong returns over the past year. The same is true for the Employee Provident Funds (EPF), which has achieved promising results. The Employee Provident Funds, in Malay called as Kumpulan Wang Simpanan Pekerja (KDBSP), is a federal statutory body under the purview of the Ministry of Finance. It manages the compulsory saving plans and retirement planning for private sector workers in Malaysia. Membership in the EPF is a mandatory for Malaysian citizens employed in the private sector and voluntary for who non-Malaysian citizens. It is a matter of fact that the Employee Provident Funds is one of the largest provident funds according to the official website of KDBSP. As we already know, EPF has announced 2 early withdrawal programs in response to the pandemic in the past years, which are called as I-Sinar and Lestari. So, Mr. Adam, can you remind us back what is I-Sinar in general context?
Thank you, Zaziman. I-Sinar is an initiative to enable members to withdraw from their savings in EPF Account 1. It is targeted facility to assist EPF members that affected by COVID-19 pandemic and sustaining their livelihood. The eligible amount that can be withdrawn is number 1, members with saving less or equals to RM 100,000 in account 1 can withdraw up to 10,000 ringgit subject to savings balance the savings balance. Second is members with saving more than 100,000 ringgit in account 1 can withdraw up to 10% of their savings with RM 60,000 ringgit limit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Adam, for your explanation. And now we move on to the Mr. Syahmi. What the meaning of Lestari? Maybe Mr. Syahmi can we talk about this?
Okay, the Lestari withdrawal facility is intended to ease the financial burden of members and help them meet their basic monthly financial needs during the COVID-19 pandemic. The maximum amount of 500 a month is deemed as a reasonable amount as an additional source of income for members to meet basic financial needs. Lestari is available for Malaysian citizens, permanent residents, and non-Malaysians aged 55 and below that has an EPF account. The facility will allow members to take out funds only from account 2.
Thank you, Mr. Syahmi, for your explanation. And now we move on to Mr. Aiman. Mr. Aiman, since we already know the meaning behind of Lestari and I-Sinar, did you recently apply for one of these schemes?
Okay, yes, I recently only applied for Lestari withdrawal for my personal reason, which helped to alleviate my financial load during this pandemic. During this pandemic, my family had a rough time because of the lockdown. After I withdraw the cash, I use it to clear all my house loan, car loan, and credit card debt monthly. Other than that, I also make some other expenses such as medical purpose because of my family has been infected with COVID-19 virus. I also invest the remaining balance in the short-term investment so that I can gain more money. For me, this withdrawal has helped people like me to survive in this pandemic, although I know that my retirement fund will be less than I planned.
Wow, there's a lot of things you do with your Lestari withdrawal funds. So, from your perspective, Mr. Adam, does it has any impact if you withdraw our EPF earlier before retirement?
For me, I really think that this is important solution and advantage for this pandemic era. One of the positive impacts from the withdrawal of KWSP from account 1 is firstly, it will help the local economy by supporting domestic consumption. This is because throughout the pandemic, lots of people have lost their job due to sudden lockdown and the factories are completely shut down to avoid the danger of COVID-19. The inflation also rises because of great lockdown. Hence, with this withdrawal of KWSP, the locals, especially those who have lost their source of income, actually have their purchasing power, and it helps to boost the economy as well.
May I interrupt? Sure, I can argue that early withdrawal of KWSP will help the economy by supporting domestic consumption. But do you know that if you withdraw your EPF earlier from your retirement age, it will decrease your retirement funds much lesser than you planned? The primary goal of the EPF is to assist contributor in saving for retirement. Withdrawing funds from account 1 means forfeiting the retirement savings you have built up since you start working. In a nutshell, unless you increase your self-contribution after withdrawing from the Lestari or I-Sinar, you will not able to replace the amount you have lost.
It's easier to say with that withdrawal of the KWSP will affect your retirement day just because you have the source of income throughout the lockdown. But how about those who have lost their source of income? The withdrawal of KWSP will give instant cash to some people due to employment, salary cuts, and reduced business arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. Cash flow issue is a major problem for many Malaysians during this period of pandemic. The I-Sinar and Lestari is the solution to this problem, and it's especially valuable to those who have exhausted their emergency saving.
I know that many people have lost their income during the pandemic, and withdrawing the KWSP fund, it will give them instant cash. But did you know that early withdrawal will be foregoing compounding interest? When it comes to withdrawing money from your EPF or any types of saving accounts, one thing you'll hear a lot of people will talk about is the compounding interest you missed out on. Compounding interest is the interest you earn on both on your initial deposit and the interest generated from the from that primary deposit. As many people are aware, and the effects are magnified with the time. As a result, when you withdraw your money from your EPF account, you are losing not just the return on your EPF contribution, but also the additional returns that the cumulative returns will generate.
But in my opinion, better to forfeit the compounding interest of KWSP compared to paying interest to the bank when you are using credit card. With the pandemic struck by 2020, we can expect that credit cards will be increased. The use of credit card will be increased due to the lack of source of income. By borrowing money from the bank, you will have the finances to tide you over the during presentation with a set of repayment schedule for the future.
Okay, can I?
Wow, it's getting hot here. But unfortunately, our time has come to the end. So, what you both trying to say that they actually have a positive and also negative impact when we withdraw EPF fund earlier before retirement. I hope everyone use their money wisely or just let it grow for unstoppable happiness. I think that's all for today's sessions. See you again. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good.
Bangun duduk.
Ikut kau orang buat macam mana? Aku buat macam ni. Kau buatlah masing-masing.
Jangan.